In this next lesson, we're going to work with the pen tools. If I click and hold down the mouse, we have all the pen tools that we need. Here's the first one. Now the pen tools also work in conjunction with shape layers, paths, and fill pixels. The default, or I should say the one that you should start learning with, should be paths. So if I click, it makes 1 point. If I click again and drag my mouse down while I'm holding down the left click, it makes an arc. You got to get used to this, like so. Now, if I want to change the direction in which I go, I can hold down the Alt key, and you see that the mouse pointer changes. And it changes into what's called a convert point tool. So if I click here, it changes the direction. Now if I click and drag upward, it makes a shape. And it makes a leaf, as you see. Now I can use the path palette and simply load a color into this path. At the bottom of the path palette we have some options. Fill path with foreground color, stroke path with a brush. Now before you decide to use this one, make sure that your brush size is changed. Choose a small brush, and I'll stroke it with a red, and click on the work path, stroke path with brush. There you go, and you see a red outline comes. So if I had a very large brush and then I decide to do it, look at that, you get a very big stroke. So your stroke around your object is based off your brush size. My favorite one of them all, load path as a selection. So if you're having difficulty with the other selection tools, you can simply use the pen tool. And finally, make work path from selection. So if I decided to just simply choose the lasso and make a selection, I can convert that selection to a path. And it has its benefits, so you can definitely play around with this. For example, I can now manipulate this, manipulate that shape, and simply go back to being a selection. The pen tool takes a lot of practice and patience. You should understand we have the pen tool, click, click, pull. Often you're going to have to change direction, so you Alt click and click pull again. Alt click. When in doubt, Alt click. It will certainly help you. So what if I didn't? What if I didn't Alt click? Well, the shape may not be how I want it to be. It just helps, especially for the novice. The freeform pen tool does the same thing. It's just very free-forming. There's no click pulling involved. You see? You just click and drag. Where this one is click, click, pull, and the 2 points are connected. Add anchor point tool allows you to add a point in the middle, giving you more control. It looks like a little seesaw. If you pull one side of it, it arcs one way. If you pull the other side of it, it arcs the other way. And delete anchor point tool. And finally, convert anchor point tool, which just allows you to manipulate the specific points. See, as I click on these specific points, it allows me to get more of an arc. It's a very good tool. It's probably one of the most important tools in this application, as well as working with Adobe Illustrator CS. It's very important, very crucial, so practice this. One of the ways that you can practice, create a new file. I'm going to change this from grayscale to RGB. You can create a new file, and by using the paintbrush and a small brush, you can draw lines like this or lines like this. They don't have to be perfect. Or lines like this. And you can use these to practice with your path. These three shapes will pretty much allow you to practice. Now if I choose the pen tool, click, click, and go to the other side, click, pull. See, now if I were to click here, look what happens. Boom. See how that curves down? You don't want that. You want to alt-click and click on the other side. And by holding down Shift, you get a straight line. So now we have a point here. I don't have to click here. I just simply click on the other side and pull down. Now I'm holding down the left mouse button and I'm dragging my wrist downward. If I drag upward, it goes the opposite way. So the path always moves in the opposite direction that you pull. Alt-click and then click again. Now to deselect this present path, I can Control-click and that will deselect it. Why is that important? Because if I don't, and I decide to move on to the next one, I have a bit of a problem. So by Control-clicking, hold down the Control key, click, that deselects, so you can start new. Click, click again. Click to the other side, drag downward. Alt-click to change direction. Hold down Shift to make a straight line. There you go. Control-click before you move on to the next one. Click, click, pull. Alt-click, click, pull. Alt-click, click, pull. And finally, click, pull, and Control-click, and you're done. So I highly recommend following this movie to get good at the pen tool. If you get good at Photoshop CS's pen tool, there's no doubt in my mind that you'll be able to move to Illustrator CS and master that pen tool because they work the same. In the next lesson, we're going to go over the path palette.